Ford was built on the belief that the world doesn't get to decide what you're capable of. You do. So ask yourself, can you or can't you? Can you load up a Ford F-150 and build your dream with sweat and steel? Can you chase thrills and conquer curves in a Mustang? Can you take a Bronco to where the map ends and adventure begins? Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Ready, set, Ford.
Welcome back to Connect with me, Jonathan Mark. And I just want to say first and foremost, thank you guys so much. This outpouring support and love that I felt from you guys was next to none. And I just want to say thank you. It's been, tough. As people say, when it rains, it pours. I even got sick right after. I got the flu. But I just want to say thank you guys. It's been tough. And with taking a week or two off, I was able to kind of take a step back and look at the podcast and just look at many things. And I just want to say that I'm excited for 2026. I have a lot of projects that are going to be announced, but I'm calling it season 3. And as you guys know, I did season 1 to season 2. Now I want to explain to you quickly what season 3 is going to be. It's still going to be working with families and law enforcement with unsolved cases, missing persons cases, because at the end of the day, all I want to do is help people. At the end of the day, that's what really gets me kind of going and happy, is to be able to provide help. But I'm also going to be wanting to bring you guys on here just to do readings, because everyone loses someone and it's tragic in their own right. And I'm just thankful that you guys have given me a platform to do so. So season 3 will be 2026, missing person unsolved cases with normal, regular readings. And I'm so excited. But I want to get into this episode. It's a solo episode, and I'm going to be doing these up until 2026 when I bring people back on to work on cases. So I was reached out to by the Daily Mail, and all that was sent was like a press question or something like that, right? And I don't really deal with that. I have, people that help me with my emails. But when I found out that they wanted me to work on a case and they wanted to profile a case, they didn't tell me what case it was. I was so into it. So my manager, was dealing with everything, and we had a call, and the reporter was just like, I don't know how you work, but we want to profile a case that we are very much into, and people would want to hear your point of view from you tapping in. So I didn't know what case it was. I come on, and she was so nice. She just goes, okay, let's go. And I go, whoa. Typically when I do these readings, it's with a family member directly associated with the case, or law enforcement, a detective that's on the case. And I was like, you need to just say the name of the case so I can tap off of that. And I, looked at her and I was like, can you please say the name? And she told me what the case was, and I've never heard of it. I haven't really heard of a lot of cases. There's so many cases, but this case was really interesting. It's called the Lost Boys of Pickering. Now, I'm going to deep dive into this case for you guys, and then I'm going to explain to you what I saw. I mean, you can Google the Daily Mail stuff and hear the reading. I'm trying to get the actual reading. It was only 7 minutes long, but they basically surmised everything that I said. But I will explain to you into detail after I explain to you what this case is. So let's get into it. March 17th, 1995, 6 teenage boys vanish from Pickering waterfront. No bodies, no debris, no boat. Just silence. Tonight, the mystery of Lost Boys of Pickering is exactly what I'm going to be getting into, guys. It's absolutely crazy. Now, this case kind of sticks with me for many reasons. After I looked it up and kind of, was really deep diving into it, because I'm hoping that one of the family members or law enforcement reaches out, which seems to be happening. But This is one of those cases that kind of sticks with you, not because of the twist or the headlines, but because nothing really about this adds up. In the next few minutes, I'm going to be breaking down what happened, what doesn't make sense, and why this case is cold for nearly 30 years. 6 boys, Jay Boyle, Chad Smith, Robbie Rombolt, Jamie Lefebvre, Mike Cummings, and Danny Higgins, ages 16 to 18. They spent St. Patrick's Day at a party in Pickering. Around midnight, they headed toward the marina in Frenchman's Bay, a place local teens would hang out like all the time. Witnesses later reported seeing some of them near the docks. Police believe the boys broke into a small boat, an imitation Boston whaler, and took it out on Lake Ontario around 2:30 to 3 a.m. Neighbors heard a motorboat on the water. But then after that, nothing. By morning, all 6 boys were missing. Families panicked, police were called, and soon the Canadian Coast Guard launched a major search. Helicopters, rescue boats, divers, like literally everything. But here's what made investigators stop in their tracks. There was no boat, there was no debris, no personal items, not one shred of physical evidence. Lake Ontario can be absolutely dangerous, but it almost always gives something back. Even capsized boats eventually surface or drift. Bodies wash ashore, debris float. Yet in this case, this lake stayed silent. There are a few details that make this case extremely haunting. First, the boat itself. It was designed with a foam-filled hull, which makes it extremely hard to sink. Even damaged pieces should show up. Second, all 6 boys disappear without a trace. Even in deep water, a total disappearance is extremely rare. And third, the conflicting theories. Police lean toward an accident, cold water, inexperience, and rough conditions. But families have pushed back for decades, and they say there's any lack of evidence that even fits an accident at all. Now, there's a bunch of theories that come into play. And now, after I share these theories, I kind of want to tell you what I picked up on in the reading, because it goes a little, not against this. I mean, I guess looking back and seeing these theories right now, it a little bit aligns up, but not really. Time to talk about Rula and taking care of our mental health. As you all know, my line of work is a fast track to burnout. Even today's episode is just a small snapshot into one of my many constant heavy conversations that I'm involved with at all times every day. And finding the time or the right person to help me handle the burnout is incredibly difficult, and it can get expensive if I'm not able to go through my insurance. I've always been so annoyed that I can use my insurance so easily for physical injury, but it's not the same for my mental health. That's where Rula comes in. Rula does things differently. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, making the average copay just $15 per session. But depending on your benefits, your copay could be as little as $0 per session. That's real therapy from licensed professionals at the price that actually makes sense. Think about it. You use your insurance benefits to maintain your physical health, so why wouldn't you do the same for your mental health? Thousands of people are already using Rula to get affordable, high-quality therapy that's actually covered by insurance. Visit rula.com/connect to get started. After you sign up, you'll be asked how you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know we sent you. That's rula.com/connect. You deserve mental health care that works for you, not against your budget. The first one is an accidental drowning. A simple tragic, and it's possible, but the huge issue is the missing the physical proof. Now, the second one is something happened before the boys ever made it onto the lake. An accident, a fight in the marina, but this doesn't explain the missing boat. Now there's foul play, a popular public theory, but there's no confirmed evidence. What keeps it alive is the total vacuum of facts. Now, let me tell you what I picked up on so you guys, I'm hoping, can do a deep dive and just look into this like I did, like after I did this reading. So when I picked up, I saw, that these kids were drinking. They were partying. The interesting thing that I kept seeing was kind of witnesses that never spoke up. I kept seeing two people that were picked, like they kept showing me whether it's a boy, girl, girl, that were at the marina when the boat like disappeared. Now, what they were also showing to me also, which is I did not really get this, but they kept squishing like a compact, like squishing, right? Like when it sank and it drowned, there was something in the water that smushed everything to make it not come up. Now, when I looked a little bit more into it after, I found out that I'm pretty sure that there was a certain point in Lake Ontario where they had a compressor for like a nuclear waste, right? Like, so like anything that kind of happens with that, they'll put into the compressor and smush it up. Now, what I saw was rough conditions that kind of pushed them there. But I also saw, like I said, there's two witnesses that aren't really speaking up. And again, further investigating, even after I even did the reading with the Daily Mail and stuff, there are two people that are shown that have not spoken up. And the images are so blurry. And they don't know who these people are. But these people are not speaking up. Now, where it stands today, nearly 30 years later, families still hold out hope for answers. You know, modern sonar, fresh tips, a discovery by chance that one day can change everything. But right now, the Lost Boys of Pickering remain one of Canada's most puzzling disappearances. I just want to say that if anyone from that area is listening that knows the family or law enforcement, I know that there's contact been made kind of with us, like very loose, but I would love to continue to help. I mean, this case is so complex. And if I can just help a little bit, I think, you know, it would make me so happy because some of the stuff I'm saying are things that a lot of people think could have potentially happened. Now, people think that there was, like I said, foul play, and very well it could have been. I don't necessarily see that so much. I see like there's a whole thing like these kids were drunk, they were having fun. And one of the kids, I'm pretty sure, had a child, a newborn child. Because people are like questioning, like, where did they go? Can they just get up and leave? And I don't necessarily think that's the case at all. I think that from my perspective of things, there's a lot of elements. People don't also understand, and I didn't really get this too, but Lake Ontario has like ocean conditions with like riptides, huge waves and stuff. They got caught probably in something that the boats weren't like really meant to do in a condition, but they were also impaired. So you add that element of things, and it's unfortunately such a disaster. But if you live near Frenchman's Bay and you saw something that never sat right with you, please, even if it's the smallest detail, please contact the Durham Regional Police. They will take anything. They want this solved. They want to help the families. Guys, please, please, please. Again, I'm sorry that this is such a short episode, but I wanted to do an episode nonetheless of just me coming on, saying what's up, and kind of what happened in the interim of, you know, my uncle passing and doing this case with the Daily Mail. And I will be doing more cases with the Daily Mail in the future. They've reached out asking. I just wanted to wait till 2026 with other projects. But, you know, guys, I'm excited for season 3 of what's going to come. Like I said, real families, real law enforcement like we've been doing. And I'm going to be bringing you guys on too. Because like I feel personally that every death is tragic. And if you lose someone that's so close to you, just to get some hope and to get some answers will probably mean the world. Thank you so much. And please do not forget to rate and review the show 5 stars. It will really, really help the show out. And also, guys, please follow my social media at Jonathan Mark Medium over on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. It just helps me out in a lot of different ways. And if you have any cases that you want me to look into or you're affected by a case, please send an email to connectjonathanmark@gmail.com. All right, guys, I will see you next week.